those come up.
Hey, Terry, what is the major concern going into this game against Cleveland, knowing that you all control your own destiny to get into the playoffs?
I think any time you're playing a game in NFL, you got to be prepared no matter what the circumstances are. They may not be playing for a playoff spot right now, but they are a very good football team. Their defense is playing really sound right now. They have stars really all over the field, offense and defense. And, we just want to be efficient when we get the ball in our hands, I think. You don't never know how many drives you're going to get in the game, so we got to make the ones we get count. And that means when we're in those gotta-have-it situations, whether it's third or fourth and short, in the red zone, you got to be able to capitalize if we want to be able to be successful this week.
Any major adjustments that you all as receivers have to make because Carson is in?
I wouldn't necessarily say that. I think the timing is the most important thing that we have to work out, and I think we got a kind of like a preview of that during San Francisco, but during this week we have a chance to get some good routes on air, some reps during practice in the team periods. So really just, we have to be able to make it work. But it hasn't been anything that has caught any of us off guard. It's just going to come down to the execution of it on Sunday.
Obviously you want to play, but it's out of my hands now. They made a decision, and I'm going to try and be the best backup I can be to Carson. I felt like we were on a roll there for a little bit, and got to put ourselves in a position to make the playoffs. And this is what they feel like it gives them the best chance to get to the playoffs. So you got to roll with it. And again, I'm going to try to be the best backup I can be. I 2.5 years ago I was out of the league, and you just want to stay in it as long as you can. So hopefully this year's bought me a couple more years at least, and we'll see what happens.
Cam, first of all, how are you feeling? And talk about this game coming up and how you all hold the destiny in your hand as far as getting into the playoffs.
I'm feeling good, and you're right. We hold our own destiny, so we just got to handle our business these last two games and get in the tournament.
Hey, Cam, you didn't play last week. What did you see as far as from this defense? Because the 49ers were able to do some things on you all that other teams hadn't all season long.
They was out there. They were playing hard, you know what I'm saying? They just made some plays. The offense made some plays, made more plays than we did. That's scored more points than we did. That's how they win the game.
Hey, Cam, being the defense that you all have been all season long, I'm sure you're probably pretty confident that this defense can get it done this week.
Yeah, facts. We've been playing hard all season, you know what I'm saying? We've been, progress been going up, since the season been going. So we just got to keep that going and just try to be 1-0 this week.
Hey, Jeremy, going back to the game this coming week, defensively was probably you gave up some big plays last week and everything. When you look at the film and everything, what did you see there that you can correct coming into this game against a very different team?
Just, making the plays when they come to us first off, and just being on the same page. A lot of our miscues came from us not being on the same page, and that's something that is very learnable from in teachable moments. And so getting those things nipped in the bud, watching film, learning from it, and then when those plays happen again, you just make those plays. That's really the biggest thing.
Different quarterback this week, Deshaun Watson. How do you control him and keep him? He struggled pretty much the last few games. He's 2-2 since coming back. But what problems does he pose?
He's got strong legs. He's a great runner and he's a great thrower too. So you add all that into it, and that makes a great quarterback. And so he's been in the game a long time. He understands the game, and he's a really good quarterback. So we have to account for him in the pass rush and also his arm. And so that's really the biggest test that we have. We have to be able to play on the same page up front and on the back end to keep him contained.
Now you play both sides, defense, special teams. Last two push to get into the playoffs. Talk about how important this special teams is also in this game moving forward, because we talk about all three phases of this team being on the same page, but special teams, you got into the Pro Bowl because of your special teams play. Talk about how important they will be this week.
It's always important. When you say three phases, everything's complementary. So if the special teams can have a big return and we can set our offense up in good field position, that's one less first down that they have to make. If we can pin them on punt inside the 10, then, you know, that's a longer field that they have to drive, especially if we're up in a situation that takes time off the clock. So it all complements each other. So we have to understand that we play just as big of a role as, you know, the touchdowns and the interceptions. You know, it's the game within the game that most people don't really see, but it adds up at the end of the day. So we go into it with the mindset that, you know, we have a serious role just as any DB or linebacker or quarterback or receiver, because our plays matter. And we've had plays in games that have swung games. So it just goes to show, like, you never know when the play's going to come, so you always got to be prepared.
Are you pleased with the way the special teams have played all year long?
Absolutely, yes. We've had a lot of young guys on our unit, and a lot of guys have stepped up. You know, Percy Butlers and Christian Holmes and Armani Rogers, guys who probably haven't played a lot of special teams in college. You know, college really doesn't get you ready for that. And to come in the way that they've done and to handle that role and to excel at that role, you know, it speaks volumes to them, and it speaks volumes to the culture that we have on our special teams unit and guys buying in. So I'm very pleased with what we've done. You know, I don't go to the Pro Bowl if it's not for the rest of these guys. You know, I get glory, yes, but at the end of the day, like, it takes a unit and it takes a team, and all these guys contributed to me getting there.
Now, you've been a leader as far as special teams go too, and you spoke about this being a young group on special teams. What were some of the key things that you said to these guys to help them, you know, this season?
Just kind of teaching them what I've learned over the years of me playing. You know, DeShazer was kind of my mentor when I first came in. I watched him kind of unseen, like it was unspoken at first, but I watched everything he did, and I learned from everything that he did. And then I took from that, I used what I, you know, can do with my capabilities and my craft, and I took some from his and kind of just made a blend. And so just teaching them the game, the ins and outs, you know, what to look at, what to see. If you're running out on kickoff, if you're judging by flow, okay, if they're flowing it this way, then that's probably where the return's going, so you can attack it this way. Or if they're trying to go back door, you know, whatever, just different moves and niches that I know, that I've learned, and trying to give them that game so they can add to their repertoire, so then when they're a vet, they can teach a young guy.
One last question. When you think about your whole career, did you ever see yourself being in the Pro Bowl as far as representing special teams?
Yeah, I do. You know, it's funny. After my first year, I did an interview with my hometown news channel, and they asked me what was my goals after my first year. I said I'm aiming for a Pro Bowl and a role, you know. And it didn't happen in year 2; it happened in year 5. But the goal has always been there, you know. So, you know, I put the work in, and then I waited my turn, and here we are.